Hello, this is Paramjit Singh. Thank you very much for stopping by to the Passing Cloud series of podcasts. So, yesterday we were talking in one of our classes about professional transitions. What is the best way to transition from one stage of life to the second one? Even though if this class was about undergraduate students who at the stages of third and fourth year of their university life are now planning to step into a real life which may not be as sheltered, as structured, and as predictable as they have experienced in the last 3 to 4 years. Transitioning is a permanent state of life. It's not only that happens to university students, it doesn't happen to one person over other. But if you look at it, the way life works is always and continuously transitioning from one stage to another. We go from single to married or couples to kids or no kids to professional lives, entrepreneurs, freelancing, doing gigs, all sort of things are simply one stage to next. And we can take multiple approaches how to work with those transitions because transitions can be unnerving. They come loaded with emotions, they come loaded with uncertainty. And as we know, uncertainty is labor intensive for the human body as well as human brain. We feel constant release of stress hormones when we feel uncertain, and this definitely has some impact on the quality of life. So, one of the things we end up talking through our class yesterday was that since transitioning is a constant state of life, one of the best way to work through transition is to shift our focus. So, instead of focusing overly over the things we need to transition from and to, we shift to the person who is transitioning. Because in this whole idea of transitioning, there's one thing constant, and that is the person who is transitioning. So, if we focus on the person who is transitioning, strengthening that person, strengthening his or herself, giving him or her the toolkit she or he requires to transition well, to become empowered as life throws curveballs, ups and downs, then we are more likely to negotiate the inevitable transitions of life much more effectively rather than simply putting all the eggs into the basket of transitions, working from situation to situation. Now, this is not to say that we should not work with the situations, we should respond appropriately to the emerging situations. But I think the best way to work through the transition is to work on the person who is going to transition. Now, there's a various ways you can work around that. There's various ways you can strengthen yourself, become aware of yourself, log into your strengths and weaknesses, and utilize that and leverage that when a transition comes around. For example, I have personally meditated, and it has effectively given me toolkit to transition from one stage to another with the reduced amount of anxiety and stress and uncertainty. Now, you may have a different choices, you may have different inclination, you may not like meditation, but what my invitation to you here is that find something which allows you to strengthen yourself, your physical being, your mental being, your emotional being, and your spiritual being. If you strengthen that, and if that the sense of your being is in a good place, you will have easier time transitioning through the stages of life, because transitions are going to happen whether you like it or not. So this is my invitation to you. For the next little while, if you are working through transitions, see if you can shift the focus from what you need to transition from to who is transitioning from, and work on yourself. Take a deliberate approach to strengthen yourself so that you can work with whatever life has to throw with you. So use it as an experiment. As I always say, approach these tips and suggestions with curiosity, and that might help you do experiments with things. So, on that note, thank you very much for tuning in. As I always say, stay curious and reasonably non judgmental. If you find this conversation useful, please subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. That will be appreciated. And until next time, thank you very much.
Please subscribe to the channel, like and share. Thank you.